The announcement that Steven Gerrard will be the next manager at Ibrox is a dazzling bright light at the end of a long, dark tunnel for Rangers. It's a true box office capture and a real PR masterstroke that diverts attention away from what has been an abysmal 12 months. At the end of last season, people were thinking it probably could not get any worse for Rangers. They had just finished the season a massive 40 points behind Celtic. But this season has been even worse, and it ends with Rangers losing an aggregate 9-0 over their last two matches against Celtic. First, the fans had the promise of Pedro Caixinha and the millions that he was given to spend to bring in new players, but his reign turned out to be an absolute disaster. Then Graham Morty tried to steady the ship, which he did for a while, until heavy defeats to Celtic brought it all crashing down around him. But after the news about Gerrard was confirmed last week, Rangers supporters were so excited they were jumping in their cars and heading over to Ibrox to see it for themselves. After all the craziness, here is the return of hope with a signing of the caliber of Steven Gerrard. Watching Gerrard in his press conference even got me excited. He's still got the player's instinct in him. When he finished off his press conference with "Let's go," he was off down the tunnel, pumping his arms. That's what you do as a player. He's still got that winning mentality. If I was in the dressing room and he was acting like that, it would give me a buzz to see his energy, passion and will to win. That's exactly what Rangers need right now. I've said it many times that Rangers needed to go out and get a Brendan Rodgers type figure. When the news came out that Rodgers was joining Celtic, everyone was like, wow, this can't be true. Players wanted to get to training an hour early. It will be the same with Gerrard. He has taken the post on a long-term, 4-year contract, and it looks like it will be a process that goes the distance rather than the instant success. Dave King recently said he was demanding. You would also think Gerrard has been given the assurances he would have been looking for to help him turn it around at Ibrox. So it's exciting times for Rangers but also for the rest of the Scottish Premiership. There are already terrific managers here like Brendan Rodgers, Neil Lennon, Steve Clarke, Derek McInnes. Now we have the prospect of a Rangers team led by Steven Gerrard and Gary McAllister, two true footballing heavyweights. There's now global interest in Scottish football, and I can't wait to see the fixture list for next season when it's published. Everyone will get a lift from this, even opposition players. I know if I was playing against Steven Gerrard I would want to play at my very best. I remember playing for Derby County against Manchester United in 2009 in the Carling Cup, and I was desperate to do well in front of my idols Paul Scholes and Sir Alex Ferguson, and went on to score the winner. And when I was playing for Scotland against Argentina in 2008 I was desperate to do well in front of Diego Maradona and his first game in charge of his country. What effect will Gerrard have on the rest of the current Rangers players for the rest of the season? Well, it did not look to have had a great effect on Saturday. Yes, they beat Kilmarnock 1-0 at home, but until the 80th minute they had only had one shot on target. It was hardly free-flowing football, and it just showed that Gerrard has a huge job on his hands. Gerrard says he wants to get back to winning ways first of all, and that's what's needed. Look at the games Rangers have lost this season. You can't slip up against Kilmarnock, Motherwell, St Johnstone, Hamilton, or Dundee and expect to be competitive. Gerrard knows he needs to sort that out if he wants to take Rangers where they want to be. It's been a rough road for fans of the club since 2012, and challenges lie ahead as they look to rebuild under their new star manager. But one thing is certain, with Steven Gerrard at the helm an exciting journey lies ahead. It promises to be a thrilling final week of the season. In the battle for second, Aberdeen are narrowly out in front with 2 games left, primarily because they've been very good at beating teams out with the top 4. It's theirs to lose, but they will have to beat Rangers and possibly also Celtic, and they've not managed that once this season. If Rangers win their next 2 games, then second place is theirs and they go into Tuesday night at Pittodrie having beaten Aberdeen 3 times this season. But Hibs are the on-form team, so it's just too close to call. With the budget Aberdeen have, and how well they've done in previous seasons, you'd expect them to have reached the cup final this term. That they haven't will be a disappointment for Derek McInnes. But if they do finish second for the 4th consecutive season, they'll have done well because it's been an extremely competitive league this season. At the bottom, I watched Ross County at Hamilton recently and they lacked ideas up front. And the remaining fixtures don't look good for Oxys. James McFadden said to me if Motherwell have the chance on the last day of the season to put their Derby rivals in the playoffs, they will be up for the. After losing 5-1 at home to St Johnstone on Saturday, Stephen Robinson's side will want to take momentum into the cup final. So I fear for County and Hamilton. I've been a Manchester United fan from the age of 10. It was when the class of '92 were coming through and there was no better time for a young kid to follow the Old Trafford club. I loved watching David Beckham, Nicky Butt, Ryan Giggs, Gary, and Phil Neville, Paul Scholes, as well as Lee Sharp and Eric Cantona. I had the United kit, a United watch, And I remember having a Man United themed birthday party. It was a glorious time to be a United fan, and the architect of the whole journey was Sir Alex Ferguson. When I became a footballer myself, I played for Derby County against Manchester United in the Carling Cup in 2009. As I've mentioned elsewhere in this column, I wanted to shine in front of my idol Scholes and Sir Alex. I even grabbed the winning goal in a 1-0 victory. To hear the news that Sir Alex has undergone surgery for a brain hemorrhage is a real shock.